We've come to the point in our first week where I want to introduce the normal distribution or bell-shaped curve. And here is what it looks like, in theory. Most people do not realize how much of a peak there is in the middle. It just reinforces the concept that most of the data points are near the mean. There are many real-world variables that fall into the normal distribution. My best example would be a person's height. Height is even a little right skewed since there is more of a limitation on the lower end of the height scale than on the upper. My most important first takeaway for anyone learning about the normal distribution is to learn the empirical rule. There are 3 parts to this rule. First, a little more than 2/3 or 68.27% of all of the data points in a normal distribution fall between plus and minus 1 standard deviation from the mean. Second, a little more than 95% of all the data points in a normal distribution fall between plus and minus 2 standard deviations. I would also like to note here that if 95% of the data points are symmetrically distributed around the mean above, that means that there is about 5% left over for the 2 tail areas. This translates to about 2.5% for each tail. Third, about 99.73% of all data points in a normal distribution fall between plus and minus 3 standard deviations from the mean. As you can see in this visual, there is not much white space showing in the tails. This white space equates to a little bit more than 1/4 of 1%. One way to think about this is to take 400 random data values from a normally distributed data variable. On average, only one data value would fall beyond 3 standard deviations on either side of the mean. This is where I draw the line for a point that I would consider to be an outlier. You may have heard the term outlier before in several different contexts. Statistically speaking, you should look carefully at a point that is more than 3 standard deviations from the mean as an outlier and determine if it should be removed from your data set or not. Make sure you make a note as to why you removed it if you do.